This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
I love Big Riley.
Don't let that intro fool you. Lilith Hellfire is not here. And yes, I know, this is not our Far From Home review. Hello, it's me, Phil. That's right, I'm going solo this time. So low you can't hear me. Haha. Yeah, that's not funny. Anyway, yes, this is not our Far From Home review. This is a special bonus. Again, yes, 2 episodes of Ultimate Spider-Cast in 1 week. As you can tell by the numbering, 27.5 this episode is. Going all yod on you. 27.5 it is. Alright, so why the extra bonus content this week? Well, first of all, we know Spider-Man Far From Home is out. Some of you may have already seen it, because this episode's dropping on Wednesday, so some of you may have saw it yesterday or the night before. And also, this episode is the part 1 of a special 2-part crossover we're doing with Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, a part of the collective that Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks are part of. That's right. Next week, Ray and I believe it's episode 103 of Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, will be covering Mark Spector Moon Knight issues 32 and 33. And you're like, why? It's because, well, 1, we want to do something together, and 2, it features Spider-Man and Moon Knight versus the Hobgoblin. But why? And then if you do those episodes there, what are you doing here? Well, glad you asked. No one in the room with me. Because there's a editor's note in, I believe it's Mark Spector 32, about how Spider-Man is swinging home from the events in Spider-Man 14. Part 2 of Sub-City. So, I figured why not do a little crossover and even promote my appearance on Into the Night, because it's all about me. So, I figured why not give in, as again, with Far From Home out in theaters this week, I figured everyone's going to be looking for extra Spider-Man content, so and with no one else free, I figured I'll give you maybe a dramatic live reading of Spider-Man 13 and 14, Sub-City Part 1 and 2. Alright. Don't mind the ums and ahs this episode, since it's just me, but alright. So, the first issue of Part 1 of the crossover is Spider-Man issue 13 from August 1991. If for those of you who may not have been reading then or aren't familiar with this title, the first, how many issues was it? I don't know if it was the first 20. It was maybe the first, somewhere between 15 and 20 issues of this, I think. This Todd McFarlane was the writer and artist on these issues. He had been originally doing the art for Amazing Spider-Man, and I don't know if he was getting unhappy, wanted to branch out more, so Marvel decided they start a whole new Spider-Man series and gave Todd the reins with the writing, all the artistry, because this issue he's credited for the art, story, and letters. This is issue 1 of this series was the one that, broke all records with, what was it, like 1 million copies, so over 1 million copies sold or something. It was like the McDonald's of its time. But yes, so Spider-Man issue 13, Todd McFarlane, art, story, letters. Greg Wright did the colors, Jim Salicrup edits, and Tom DeFalco, I guess, was editor-in-chief, but there's just a big question mark under his name. Alright, so for those of you who listen to the Quantum Zone, the Quasar podcast right here on Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks, might be familiar with my live readings with Will and Matt. This might be the first time I've done a live reading by myself, so don't hold it against me. Alright. So, issue 13 opens with a big, hulking figure in the shadows crawling out of a manhole cover. And we hear him saying, "Why don't they make this pipe bigger? They never do nothing to help us. So we got to do this by ourselves." Leader needs another bad one. Me get it for him. Then me and friends can get food. And me hungry, as he crawls out of the manhole and slams it closed. Oh good, there be one already. Time for a surprise. And we see a homeless man sleeping on the floor of a alleyway. The tired old bum has finally gotten to sleep. Here in the bleak back alleys of New York, a small piece of dirt has been turned into a temporary haven. Loud noises wake him. He can't focus upon what woke him, nor will he ever be given the chance. As he opens his eyes, like, huh, what's that? And we see the hulking figure say, shut up, old man. Uh-oh, I maybe hit it too hard. Because he kind of punched him. We don't see where, we just see the fist, but we don't see where the punch lands. Uh-oh, I forgot how soft the bad ones can be, with blood still trickling down his hand. But he still picks up the body. Now me better hurry back for this bad one wake up. Leader be hungry. Leader get food. Leader be happy with me. Me good. Good. Tomorrow me find another bad one. Maybe one not so soft. But me must go. Lights start to make eyes hurt. Bad ones like lights. As he opens up the manhole again and crawls down with his unconscious victim. Not me and my good friends. No way. Bye-bye, bad peoples. Oh yeah. This is better. As he crawls down the pulling a Kool-Aid man gun down the manhole. Oh yeah. Alright, so we don't get any caption boxes or anything that says we're changing the scene, but the next thing we see is Peter and Mary Jane at home. Sitting on the couch or something. And Peter's saying, oh, come on, Mary Jane. It was a joke. I'm not going out of Spidey. Come on, lighten up. And she says, it's not that, Peter. I'm just bored. He says, I know it can take your mind off that boredom. And she says, is that all you can think? Let's do something fun. Not that what you want isn't fun. But I was thinking, how about we hit the clubs? I can call Flash, see if Felicia and he can join us. Maybe Harry and Liz, too. That'd be fun. And then Peter picks her up by her butt. She's saying, Peter, what are you? And he says, my dear beauty, you want fun? And we just see a bunch of thwips. He's like, I've got fun. He's like, now isn't this interesting? As Mary Jane's like hanging from webs from the ceiling, and she's like, Peter, what in the world do you think you're doing? He's like, nothing yet. And she's like, okay, joke's over. Maybe these webs go away and I'll forgive you. Peter, did you hear what I said? And then she goes, yo, homeboy. When does Mary Jane say homeboy? I said joke's over. Peter, have I told you how handsome you look lately? He's like, my dear, flattery will get you nowhere. By the way, I like your new kinky hairdo. Speaking of kinky, she's like, I swear I'll scream if you even try anything out of line. And he starts kissing her. It's like, doesn't matter. He's like, it doesn't matter because Harry and Liz are out tonight. He's like, besides, you only have to put up with it for an hour. That's how long it takes the webs to dissolve. In the meantime, I know where you're most sensitive. And she's like, not there, Peter. Please, not there. And I guess since this is a family book, we cut away, and then we see Spider-Man swinging to the bugle the next morning. The next morning, Peter swings across town to the Daily Bugle, hoping to latch on to a few photo assignments and talk to a few friends about work. He has one favorite among them, and he goes, I think I smell Jonah already. Jonah, this is weird. Because we see a reporter talking to Jonah Jameson. Jonah, this is weird. All these guys kidnapped in the same 4-block area. The other bums are afraid for themselves. One of them told me that. And Jonah says, are you out of your mind? I don't care about bums. I want real stories. You find me a murder disaster or a sex triangle. That'll print. And then we see Peter come up behind the reporter. Yo, Carl, what's up? And Jonah says, I'll tell you, this job gets harder and harder every day. I think I'm concerned about some bloody bums. Phrasing. Peter's saying to the reporter, I couldn't help but overhear his lordship rip your head off, but your story sounds like it has potential. Besides, I'm looking for work. The reporter says, I've been in contact with the few homeless that live behind the Port Authority bus depot. Now, I know they're not the most reliable sources, but a couple of them were telling me about their friends. They say that 5 of them have disappeared, not left, say they've been kidnapped. They aren't saying they left, Peter. The info I've got says they were bodily removed. All from the same 5-block area. Trouble is, I can't sell the story, and Jonah doesn't want me to pursue it further. But if we could get a few pics. And Peter says, Carl, let's do it. If only to spite Jonah. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? I'd be stuck with a few extra photos of people lying in gutters that I can superimpose Jonah's face on. And the reporter says, I like you, Peter. And again, cut away, even though there's no dialogue or anything. But next thing we see is Spider-Man, I guess, hanging from webs over a alley, going num 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 num. God, I love the chocolate ones. Maybe I should think about doing a commercial for them. If Paula and MC, I'm guessing Paula Abdul and MC Hammer, can do one, why not lovable little old me? Sure be a heck of a lot funner than hanging out at this alleyway. Carl said this was the area where the bums disappeared, so a bit of surveillance just might pay off. Even if this isn't headline news, maybe something strange is definitely going on, and I doubt that anyone really cares much about the homeless to do anything. So push over Parker, let's guilt get the better of him again. But since there is a lull in the action, it's time to make another decision. Will it be the rather sweet-looking caramel, the ever-tempting apple cinnamon, the simple yet well-stated vanilla, or, I'm going to break this bad habit of talking to myself as he has a donut stuck to each finger with his, powers. And then all of a sudden, Peter sees someone running down the alley. Huh? The guy saying, help! Someone help me! And Peter bounces down the wall. Hey, buddy, slow down, man. What's the rush? You just ruined my lunch. The guy says, they're coming, please. I can't let them get me. They're coming. You won't be able to see them. And Peter says, what are you babbling about? And he's like, spider sense from the shadows. And we see, I guess it looks like garbage or something's getting thrown. Whoa, garbage. Someone's trying to beat me up with trash. Do these guys live on a diet of idiot pills or what? And Spider-Man's still dodging the garbage. When are you boneheads going to learn that I'm quick as a spider? Hence the name. Mist, and once again, mist. And then we see the familiar fist from page 1 and 2. Leave us alone. Me and my friends just want you to go. As you see a fist punch the wall in front of Spider-Man. Me can hurt you if me have to. You already hurt friends because you half ignored them. Me just want you to leave alone. Listen, Junior, I don't know what your problem is, but you're the one who came after me, remember? Quit trying to mix it up. Quit trying to mix up me, man, Spider. That's Spider-Man. Whatever. He tries to grab Spider-Man, but then as Spider-Man gets up the wall, the guy disappears. Hey! Where'd everyone go? Don't tell me that big guy fit down that open manhole. You see a voice from the manhole. Bye-bye, bad one. So Carl does have the story and facts. I said, don't tell me. It's pretty obvious this is the guy kidnapping the bums in the alley. Problem is, I don't have the proper film to shoot in the dark. But guilt beckons once again, and I'm its humble servant, as usual, as he dives down the manhole. Then he's thinking, oh, darker than I thought. Can't see 2 inches. Maybe this wasn't such a great idea, huh? Sounds like the subway train coming. And you're thinking, wrong. Can't see Junior, but Spider Sense lets me avoid him. You are dumb to come to my home. Now friends can help. Friends? Just what I need. Get the man bug. We see a bunch of shadowy figures reaching for Spider-Man. If I can't see, I can't hit. So, I'm out of here as he jumps out of the manhole. And next thing we see Peter out of costume at home with Mary Jane. And Mary Jane saying, Peter, no. I don't care about your reasons. You know how I feel. Venom hurt me bad. I don't bother with that because you've got your own problems. But the sight of seeing you in that black costume again would be too much. I don't ask for many things, Peter. I knew what I was getting into when we got married. But this is one time I can't forget my feelings. He's like, MJ, please, I'm not trying to push this on you. She says, then what do you call it? Reality. Listen, sweetie, I don't want to fight, but I've been Spidey for a while now, and I know what it takes to win. These underground folks see my costume like a beacon. I need to protect myself. More important, I need to find the bums that are missing. Listen, MJ, I understand your apprehension. I really do. But you've got to try and see some of my motivations. I'm not asking this on a whim. You know me better than that. I've been fighting crime for years now, and I'm still able to tell about it. A big reason is safety. If I don't have the confidence going into battle, then I shouldn't enter it. But if I choose to go, then I need to be prepared. My choice of going has always been the same, ever since Uncle Ben was shot. So I know how that black costume makes you feel. Venom terrifies me too. But those homeless people are victims, just like you were. And then we see Mary Jane saying, when we got married, I knew what I was about to get myself into. But I have to tell you, Peter, I have trouble coping with your career at times. Most of the time I try to hide it, try to laugh it away, but the odd time I hurt inside, not because you're Spider-Man, and not because you might get hurt. I think it's deep down I know I can't help you. I'd love to be of help, yet my own needs make me guilty. Does that make any sense? And he says, perfect. Look, maybe I can get another hero too. And she says, no, you do, you have to. But please, I just don't want to see it. And next thing we see Peter changing in his room. It says 2 days later. And Peter's holding the black costume. And a lot of you may be saying, I thought he burned that in Amazing Spider-Man 300. Well, first thing we see him saying is, I've got to hand it to the Fantastic Four. Their seamstress did a beautiful job. Might as well see if it fits. Putting it on like a glove. Well, I should hope so. If you give her measurements, it should fit like a glove. Kind of feels good. Too bad my powers have to interfere with my marriage, though. MJ puts up with a lot. I owe her big this time. And then we see New York that same night. Another homeless bum has been snatched to the darkness below. And we see our friend from the beginning of the issue. Me am good, me am good, me am got a bad one. This one not as soft as last one. Took 4 hits to put down. But he was still mad that him I picked. It's 'cause I love you, bad one. No, not really. Ha ha ha, me am so funny. Me am almost home. You stay here, bad one. Time for me to tell leader you am here. He soon be hungry. Me too. In the abandoned shafts under the city, a gathering of the good ones takes place. We see a voice say, come, brother. And next page we see it's Morbius, the living vampire. Once again, my dear friends, you humble me. In the few weeks I've been with you, your wanting to please me has been most evident. To call me your leader shows a side of you that those above will rarely understand. And I promise you that your loyalty will not go unrewarded. I have felt your torment and been rejected by others. We are not so different, you and I. Both of us have been disregarded by society. I, Morbius, will not forget you. You know that I drink blood to survive. Sometimes my guilt and self-loathing become almost unendurable. I, a physician who once saved lives, now forced to take them. You at least have spared me the agony of choosing those who will die so that I must live. Since I'm forced to hide from the sunlight, you, my friends, have provided my meals. In return, I protect you from those who would prey upon you. Bitter irony indeed. I could almost laugh, but if I did, I fear that I might never stop. My contacts with the outside can help us in some minor ways. I'm especially pleased by your efforts, Kiever. Kiever, goodest of them all. And we see a mysterious figure in looks like a hooded costume of rags. It looks like an old man. You're a smooth one, Morbius, using propaganda against my people, twisting them, confusing them. We took to the abandoned subways and tunnels because the government wouldn't help us on the streets, so we had to take care of each other. But we've been down here since '62, and the years of inbreeding have taken their toll. Now you use that to your advantage by promising to feed them. You can get us food, but the sources you use are the same ones that drove us to hiding. Our ranks have been decimated enough by the Morlocks. Now we hide from those above and below. Now you appear using almost hypnotic powers of persuasion to manipulate us. Worst of all, I fear that your vampiric mutation is beginning to affect your mind. If you were to become totally insane, I fear for us all. It's not totally insane yet, people? Alright, so again, above street level, swinging above the streets of New York. We see Peter swinging in the black suit, thinking, you'd think after all this time I'd have a handle on how to keep the crime fighting for the rest of my life. It never seems to work out that way. Instead of the crooks getting messed up, they just continue to go their merry way. After all these years, they still don't fear us. Why should they? They know how to use the law better than we do. Thor, Cap, the FF, heck, even guys like Ghost Rider and Punisher are in their face. They've always got a new scam. What's even crazier is there are probably thousands of kids who would love to have my job. Joke's on them. And we see Peter swinging down to the same manhole cover. The sad part is I sometimes put myself through this just to get a photo. So who's the bigger fool, them or me? Anyway, there's the manhole I came up the other day. My black costume should give me a bit more camouflage against these mole people, or whatever they are. Of course, all my plans worked out so perfectly in the past. Can you say multiple screw-ups, boys and girls? Geez, it is dark. Been nearly half an hour and my eyes still haven't got used to the darkness. Guess I'll just sit here and lay adjust. Then, my spider sense already. Maybe I shouldn't have put such a big spider emblem on my chest. And we see again a group of shadowy figures. It looks like a bad one that the leader will like. Let's get him, train him for more food. A bunch of them coming from behind. I barely make them out. Oh no, more from the left and the right. Can't quite see them all. The bad one, the bad one, the bad one, the bad one. Spider sense tells me they're here, but not the direction they're coming. Feels like they're everywhere. And we see Spider-Man getting tackled. I'm hungry. I'm gonna get the leader fast. Leader fast. Leader. We've been invaded by a black bad one. And we see Morbius. Excellent. Then I'm sure Dr. Strange wouldn't approve. Let's show our guess who rules the underworld. No one trespasses without paying the price. End of issue 13. So, yeah, I mean, I love the black suit. Maybe one of, if not my favorite suit of Spider-Man's, and I love the way Todd McFarlane draws it. It just seems like so sleek and so, well, it should be stealth, but again, like even Spider-Man made the point. Did he have to recreate the black costume completely? I mean, couldn't he have gone down there with just like white eye holes and nothing else on him? I mean, maybe they wouldn't have seen him coming. But then these people live in darkness almost 24/7, so who knows? They might have saw him no matter what, even if the costume was completely mugged. All right, but anyway, let's jump to Sub-City Part 2 of 2. So, we're going to get a one and done. I like two and dones. All right. So this one is Spider-Man 14 from September 1991. Again, Todd McFarlane, story, pencils, inks. Rick Parker letters, Gregory Wright colors, Jim Salicrup editor, and Tom DeFalco bad one. Oh, DeFalco, I see what you did there. All right, so we pick up where we left off under the city. And I guess a little recap on the first page. It's another fairly bright day over the New York skyline. Not much cause for worry, unless your name is Spider-Man. Our story continues, not under the radiant glare of the sun, but in the deep, dark bowels of the long-abandoned subway caverns. They stretch out like the lines of shattered glass, directionless. Or so it seems. For under the sprawling city lives a group of malformed humans who have turned their backs on society to live underground. They have been disregarded by the government, fallen into the so-called cracks of the system. Now they follow their own rules. They are the good ones, food and shelter being their major concerns. To attain these, they must sometimes venture to the city above and get what they need from the bad ones. This is where Spidey comes in, dragged into another confrontation in which violence and force might be his only companions. Again, he wishes he were any place else but here. So does the new leader of the underground people, as we see a panel of Morbius at the bottom of the first page saying, I hunger again. But at the present time, Spidey's locked in battle with these self-proclaimed good ones. Though they don't pose much of a threat, it is their sheer numbers that is giving our hero a bit of trouble, and the lack of visibility. Like I said, once again, we pick up where we left off with Spider-Man crawling through this massive horde underground. Great. Just great. I don't know what's worse, the fact that these guys are kidnappers and possible murderers, or their incredibly offensive body odor. It's at times like this I wish I wore a utility belt. Then I could carry Spidey nasal plugs. Get it. Get the bad one. Stomp the bug. Squish the bug. And we just see the crowd screaming, get him. Stop him. Evil smash. Go for the others. Trespasser. Bad one. Evil spot a thing. Hold him. You be sorry. I got him. Watch you on my foot. Ouch. Yeah, man. Jeez, you sound like 20 cookie monsters. Let me see the hooded leader again thinking, curse you, Morbius. Look what you've done to my people. They left the world above to escape such ugliness, but you've abused their innocence, taken advantage of their simple minds, confused them with promises of food and clothing in return for sacrificial victims, and now they act like your society, fighting so they get more and more and more. And we see Spidey trying to swing away. Sorry to spoil the party, boys, but I need a few minutes more minutes to myself. No, come back. We need you. We be good. Promise. We didn't mean it. Get off my foot. Stop the spider thing. We like you. And Spider-Man's hanging from the ceiling. Whew. What a bunch of wackos. Why would a gang of poor homeless bums from the subways kidnap a gang of poor homeless bums from the back alleys? More importantly, where are the kidnap victims? I heard them mention a leader. Bet he'll have a few answers. But since these boys won't talk take me to him willingly, I'll have to resort to other means.
We be nice. Come down. Me like you. Me love you.
And Spider-Man swings back down. Attention, troops! A free Wayne Gretzky rookie card to the first one of you to string 5 words together in a sentence.
Me and friend.
Ooh, almost, but not quite. Anyone else want to try? Let me see him plunge down in the middle of the horde. Luckily, my eyesight's starting to adjust. Won't have to rely on spider sense so much.
He comes. We be good. Yeah, we're nice. Extra nice. Best buddies. Ha ha ha. We trick. Me won't be nice. Me not buddies. You be fooled. Spider thing is dumb. We faked.
This has gone far enough.
Oh, bad is mad. Oh no. Ow, get on my foot. Oops. Uh-oh.
And again, I don't know if mirroring the first issue, we see a bunch more thwips. And a bunch of the crowd is webbed to Spider-Man's arms and legs now.
Help! Me promise to be good.
I'm sorry it had to come to this, guys, but we weren't accomplishing anything. So if I can't get you to leave me alone, maybe hiding behind your friends might help. Now, I know that you dudes are usually cutty little Boy Scouts and won't harm a flea or spider, so I need to know where your leader is.
We can't let you see him. Only the good ones can be at his side.
We are from above.
You are the ones who forget us, turn your backs when we needed help. We won't let you confuse us anymore. Get him, friends. He must not escape.
Aha! Someone who can talk. What a concept. What a joy. You must be a card collector. Anyway, you guys want to fight? I'll give you a fight, but don't blame me if I rip a few arms and heads off and use them as clubs. Besides, I'm famished and you guys smell pretty tasty. Yum, yum, yum. Now I'm really ready, so who's going to be the first victim?
Not me. Or me. No thanks. Take him. Shut up. Enjoy yourself, sir.
Look at that. A little overacting in the and they part like the Red Sea.
Thanks for coming. Enjoy. Say hi to the leader for us.
Which direction is your boss, guys? Spider-Man saying to the guys still webbed him.
Keep going straight. Yeah, straight. Mm-hmm.
And then a few minutes of sloshing through subway tunnels and sewers later. I appreciate the information, fellas, but I can handle it from here as he starts pulling guys off his arms and legs. I'm glad to see your friends were smart enough to stay behind when a mad can get pretty ugly. Well, I wish I could say it's been fun, but I won't.
That reminds me.
In the meantime, you stay here like good little boys. Those webs will eventually dissolve. I just hope none of you have to use the bathroom in the next hour. Sometimes that crack me up. Now to get down to some serious business. I still haven't seen any hint of the kidnap victims. They have to be here somewhere. And I'm really bummed that this black costume hasn't helped me one iota. Their eyesight is incredible. Could have spared Mary Jane from the painful memories this costume brings. Uh-oh, spider sense, he thinks as he's swinging and something flies by below him. Looks like some giant bat or something. Not another mutated creature gone wild, I hope. Because I believe it was the last story arc in this book. Spider-Man and Wolverine had an encounter with the Wendigo and a bunch of people in the Canadian woods. So I believe that's the mutated creature he was talking about. But this time it's Morbius.
They are but mere children, innocent and caring. Beware, Black Devil, they will torment my friends no longer. Let's see how you fare against someone who can oppose your power. I've not had to make the choice of which victims I use, but you have forced my hand.
Hey, that's no bad. It sounds just like Morbius.
What? How can it be that this Black Devil knows my name? I do not like the kind of tricks you're playing, monster. My presence down here mustn't be known. No one will ever accuse me again.
For crying out loud, Morbius, it's me, Spider-Man. You know, the friendly neighborhood kind of guy. I'm just looking for a few answers. Maybe you can help me out. What do you say?
I am not so easily fooled, idiot. Until recently, I lived in the city above. I am well aware of what Spider-Man is all about. You're not even close. So come up with another plea or lie that will change my mind.
What's wrong with him? Last thing I knew, he was hanging out at Dr. Strange's house trying to come up with a cure for his vampiric state. Right now, I have to say the good doctor wasn't too successful, as he's dodging Morbius, and then they start grappling, and Spider-Man's leaping out of his way. Listen, Morbius, I don't have time to hear your problems. I got a few of my own. Like, where have all this kidnapped homeless people disappeared to? And don't tell me you don't know.
I had no choice, don't you see? I can't just let myself die. My urges are stronger than anyone can imagine. But I'm tired of having to pick out the next victim. Tired of playing God. Now you've made my choice easy.
Wrong. Whether you want to accept it or not. We have fought before, but you always seem the one to find another solution to drinking blood. I don't know what's happened to you lately, but you can't just give up now. Not after all the years you struggled against it. You're better than that. You're a doctor, for God's sake.
You're right. I am a doctor, but this has nothing to do with science. Everything I hold dear has been stripped away from me. My practice, my colleagues, my loved ones, and worst of all, my dignity. To think it's easy for me to prey on others for survival? They curse you! Spider-Man, it doesn't matter what it is that you leave here at once, for I have sworn to protect the people who live here. In return, you bring me the victims that ease my burden of having to pick them myself. I couldn't take that kind of madness any longer. Now go! And Spider-Man gives him a nice big haymaker to almost worthy enough of a Sal Buscema artist work, but no, this is the more McFarlane as Spider-Man punches him across the tunnel. Don't you dare threaten me! You think I'm going to just up and leave because you can't take the pressure? You better think again. Like I said, he gives him a big, strong punch. Ugh, fool, can't you see I have no choice? I've agonized over this time and again. I need their blood. Without it, I would soon die. And believe me, Spider-Man, I've thought about dying thousands of times, but like you said, I can't give up. More importantly, I won't.
I'm not asking you to die. Give me a break. I'm telling you there has to be a better way. Even I know a bit about science, and there are tests that can...
Are you deaf? I said this has nothing to do with science. I've tried everything. That's why I was living with Dr. Strange for a while. I knew my cure would not come at the hands of modern medicine. Nothing can help me. Don't you understand? All I can do is accept my fate and learn to live with it.
That's garbage, Morbius, and you know it.
Shut up! I know we've battled in the past. I thought this meeting could end differently. I've obviously given you far too much credit. I've been told that you heroes can be blinded by your own form of justice, not wanting to reason out an answer, not wanting to hear the other side. So if I have to come down to your level, fine, as he tackles Spider-Man into the wall. Because if you're looking for a fight, then mister, I'm in the perfect mood.
A fight? Jeez, take a look at who's attacking who. The only reason I haven't mopped the floor up with your ugly face is out of respect. But even that has limits. I know you're a sick man. Fine, we both agree on that. Just give me back the homeless people you kidnapped, and I'll leave you to your own devices. And I'll make sure you get help from the Avengers or Fantastic Four or whoever it takes to rid you of your curse. But in the meantime, you can't just prey on the unfortunate. Being poor is no reason for them to be victimized. They've had plenty of that.
What are you talking about? The people that are brought to me don't suffer any permanent damage. They're merely used for nourishment. And besides, my new friends have told me that only the so-called bad ones are being chosen. People who deserve to suffer, if only for a short while.
Well, what they've said and what they've done are two different things. Do you think I'd be down here if nothing but drug dealers and murderers were missing?
Are you questioning the loyalty of my people? They don't have the capacity to lie. They're the true victims, hiding away from politicians and governments that systemically choose to ignore them, living in darkness, hoping no one will find them. They only want food and clothing, things which I can provide from the city. My connections as a doctor give me sources that I can use, and if all else fails, I can still provide. Being a vampire can have its benefits. So don't talk to me about victims.
Speak of the devil, here they are now. Why don't you ask them yourself?
It'll be my pleasure. Keeper, the people you've brought me, you call them bad. Why? Because they be bad. You get them like me was told. But me only take the bad ones. No, my friend, why are they bad?
They live in bad city.
What else makes them bad?
That's all.
What about murderers? They bad. What about crooks? They bad. What about children and old ladies and puppies? They bad. No, I don't think you understand. What makes them bad? They not good. What about the rest of you? I know I said I wouldn't ask, but how do you pick the bad ones that were brought to me?
We forget.
Oh no, bad is bad. They help get us food and clothes. They come from above. They live in the light. They be soft and ugly. Yeah, really, really ugly.
But you said you wouldn't harm anyone. You mean that those people you've taken could have been anyone? Do you understand what that means? And that's when the old man stumbles forth. Unfortunately, they don't. They've been down here so long that their sense of reason has been warped. They answer your questions but don't understand the meaning. Most of them don't even know what a puppy is. They haven't seen the things you and I have. That's why they took you as their new leader when I had done the job for over 40 years. I knew you were something new, something fresh. And wanting to please, they deceived you. It wasn't intentional. They didn't know what they did was wrong. To them, everything was right. No one is to blame here. We just all gave in to our needs a little too easily. Please, let me have my people back. I know how to care for them. I can't believe what I've done.
Because of me, innocent people have turned upon others just as innocent. I'm spreading my curse on those who trusted me. Corrupting, I can't. One will. No! What have I become? And Morbius flies away. Morbius, wait! The old man says, let him go, Spider-Man. He needs time. His problems are deeper than we can imagine. Now I must think of my people. They have been exposed to some of the evils of your world. Look at them. They're confused. Good old Kiever. He was only trying his best. He has a lot to feel good about. And meanwhile, Kiever, for those of you who've seen Todd McFarlane's early Spawn work, Kiever looks almost exactly like Billy Kincaid. Maybe more gummy smile, but maybe a little less hair. It's little tufts of blonde hair and a little dirtier, but very close to, Kincaid. And the others, they try so hard. Now it's time to give them answers. They want to know why they were rejected again. Can you give them an answer, Spider-Man? Answer? I don't even know what the question was. Then how do you think they feel? I'm not going to fight you. If you have to turn us in, then do so. I only ask that you consider our lives. I just want to help my people. Maybe you should help Morbius. Go. I won't stop you. I thank you for your compassion. Even though this will soon become a blur to them, I will not forget those that are still those. There are still those who care. All right. Later, it says, in the sunlight, you see Spider-Man swinging through the city. I'm going to talk to Reed Richards. He's got to have some idea on how to help Morbius. For now, though, I have to tell Mary Jane that this costume was all for naught. I don't know. I've put her through so much already. Sometimes I wonder why she puts up with me. Spidey, compared to some, you're one lucky guy. See, the Parker luck does work out sometimes. But why drop that on Mary Jane? Just be like, all that pain and heartache I put you through with that black costume. Yeah, it turns out I didn't need it. It should have been like, yeah, it was a big help. Yes, honey, thank you for letting me wear that. Yes, it worked out great. All right, so anyway, like I said, this episode was part 1 of a 2-part crossover. If you want to get part 2, because Spider-Man doesn't get to swing right home, he, like I said, he swings right into the pages of Mark Spector Moon Knight 32 and 33 from December 91. So go pick that up and see what Spider-Man gets into before he gets home from this adventure. Like I said, that'll be Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, episode 103. It should be out next week. I'm not sure when. So just follow them. I know they're on social, on Facebook, on Twitter, I believe is ITK Moon Knight. So, and subscribe to their newsletter. I know Ray puts out a newsletter every week. So, and they have a good show anyway. Go for the crossover, stay for the Moon Knight every week. All right. And again, come back next week, on Tuesday, but we'll have our Spider-Man Far From Home review. Lilith will be back and we'll have a bunch of our friends here to discuss our big spoiler-filled, review of Spider-Man Far From Home. And it's going to be great. All right, but if you hear this, if you want to send your thoughts, because we're not going to be recording our review until Sunday, so if you see Spider-Man Far From Home this week and you want to send your thoughts, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Follow Ultimate Spidercast on Facebook, and we have, I think we mentioned this last episode or the one before, we have a new Facebook group, Web of Spider-Man. Go check that out. You can talk to us directly in there, and all the fans. We get a lot of fun conversation going. Follow us on Twitter @ULT Spidercast and @CL Sidekicks. Follow CL Sidekicks on Instagram. The voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And dive deep into those manholes of the internet and visit us at capesandlunatics.org. All right, everyone. Thanks for putting up with just me rambling to myself this episode. I really appreciate it. Like I said, remember, follow Spider-Man and me into part 2 on Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, episode 103. And come back here. Well, we're here all week, but if you want Spider-Man, come back next Tuesday for our Spider-Man Far From Home review. Till then, swing on back. Sweep!